That's right. Thank you. So here we go. Emily is up this month with the style of the month. Dum, 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 dum. So Emily, please take it away. And there you go.
Everybody sees my screen? Hears me okay? Yes?
Yep.
Cool. Hi, welcome to Style of the Month. It's a really short one this month. Wheat and rye beers, there's only a couple of categories. So wheat and rye beers have been around for like literally ever, like millennia. There have been references found on traces of pottery in Egypt and Rome. There's quotes by Roman emperors saying how beer smells like a goat. I think it's a little bit better than that, but it's been refined over the years, you know, like anything. So starting in Germany, Germany and Belgium, the two palest styles of wheat beers is wit beer and Weiss beer. The big differences between these two, one's from Belgium, one's from Germany. And the one from Germany, the German purity law, you were not originally allowed to use anything other than hops, wheat, barley, malt, and yeast, malted barley, sorry, in your beer. So this one does not have any adjuncts in it at all. So that's the Weiss beer. By contrast, the wit beer from Belgium, they both have a certain like a fruitiness to them, but the wit beer, that comes from the addition, that comes from coriander, whereas with the Weiss beer, that fruitiness, that banana and clove spice, that's coming directly from the yeast. But aside from that, they're both very highly carbonated, very not clear. They're just very nice, crisp and refreshing beers. A Dunkelweiss beer, also known as a Dunkelweizen, is just a darker Weiss beer. And then the Weizenbock is kind of off the scales compared to the other ones. It's more of a cross between a Bock and Dunkel. So it's got that strength and that malt character that comes with a Bock. Sorry, it's sometimes you might even have like a Maillard kind of a reaction in there in addition to it, but it always still has that like banana clove character in the yeast. And then historic beers, just two of them. They're not really comparable, so for the most part, you can ignore what's on the right-hand side of the screen. So Roggen beer, this one originates in Bavaria, and it's basically a Dunkelweizen variant where they're using rye instead of wheat. So when you are dealing with these rye beers though, a lot of people have the assumption that it should taste like a rye bread, and that's sort of true, but one of the dominant flavors in rye bread is I think cardamom, and you don't want to taste that at all in your beer. You want the rye to stand through on its own, but just be warned, if you're going to brew a rye beer, it's very, 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 very sticky and very messy, so you're going to want to deal with that by doing some adjusted mashing. And then Sahti is the last style that we're going to look at. Sahti has its origins in Finland. It is a very old beer style, and it's sort of like a gin meets a beer, passing the mash through some boughs from a juniper adds extra flavor as well as filters it. And this is a raw beer, and it was typically brewed for festivals, so it was brewed and drunk very quickly. There's not a ton of locally brewed, locally available examples of the style. Two of them of note that David mentioned in the newsletter is the Hefeweizen and the Dunkelweizen from York. Jeff is awesome at doing these German styles, as well as many other German styles. And then there's another local example from Bob Cajun Brewery, and they've got a wit beer. The remainder of them are from Germany, unsurprisingly, because that's where the styles really took off. There have been commercial examples that are available from like Mill Street and Flying Monkey that do like a Roggen beer or a Sahti, but they come and go. They're very seasonal, one-off sort of things. Okay, and then next month is going to be a big one. This is the last beer category in the style of the month. So everything smoked, flavored, and specialty is what we're going to be looking at. So Rausch beers, Lichtenheiners, alternative fermentables, you name it, it's here. We do have a couple examples in the recipe database. We've got the Wet Hop Harvest Ale from back in the days when we used to brew at club meetings, and this is an experimental beer. And then we've got Daryl's, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I think it translates to something about a pigeon. So you're going to want to ask him about that. That's all I have for Style of the Month.
Yay, thanks a lot, Emily. Let me stop the recording here.